Shortly after the Pixel 10 Pro Fold was released, I posted a video that was 25 minutes of tips and tricks to help you get the most out of that device. But guys, I'm not done with tips and tricks because now I've had much more time to use the device, and there are a handful of things that are either things I didn't cover in that initial video or things that are just new because Pixel devices are pretty frequently changing and getting new features. So let's talk about a few more tips and tricks for the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. And this first one is something I can't believe I forgot to mention in the first video. Pixel devices are now running something called Material 3 Expressive. It's a new look and feel for Pixel devices with lots of transparency, and it just looks really, really good. If you swipe down to look at your notification shade, this is on the inner screen, so we're going to see notifications here and quick settings on the left. You're going to see this little pin icon that allows you to modify your quick settings, and there's a lot more customization than there used to be. So first off, this is the set of tiles that you're going to be seeing currently. If you tap on one, you can resize them. So let's say we want Bluetooth and internet to be a little bit bigger so that they're easier to interact with. You can do that. But then down here, as you scroll down, you can add more things to that list of tiles. And of course, you can also remove things. There's also an undo button in case you do something you didn't mean to do. That's awesome. So you can just kind of go through here. You can be resizing things, adding things, subtracting things. You even have some tiles from apps that you have installed. We'll put my own Mulvad VPN in there as well. And when you're done, you can just hit your back button and there you go. There is your new setup. So customize that to your heart's content. It is really, really good. If you've been watching my content for very long, you probably know how big a fan I am of Samsung's modes and routines option inside their settings. You can do a ton of awesome things with that. Google devices don't have exactly that, but they do have a modes section which can at least do some of what I was using Samsung's modes and routines to do. So if you look here, you start off with a few sort of preset modes: do not disturb, bedtime mode, so forth and so on. You can create your own mode with an icon and a name, but I'm just going to show you my bedtime mode because it's going to kind of give you a general idea. So you can turn this thing on automatically. I have mine set to a schedule, so 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And what's going to happen during those times? Well, you have notification filters. You can just have it allowing all notifications, or in my case, I've got it set so that only basically my closest family can get through to me even when I'm in this mode. You can have different apps that can make it through as well. But basically what I'm doing is I'm saying 9 o'clock, I don't want to be getting notifications. I don't need to be getting flooded with that stuff. I'm trying to sleep. If you come down here to display settings, though, you have some more really cool things. So how about grayscale mode? Maybe you want a visual cue that tells you it's nighttime, you should be going to sleep. Well, hey, you're going to be in grayscale mode. No more scrolling through TikTok. Everything is going to be black and white. I have the always on display turning itself off. Keep the screen always dark. That's awesome. How about dimming the wallpaper? It's not quite as maybe intrusive as grayscale, but it's a little visual cue there. And then I have mine turning on the dark mode because I actually kind of like the way light mode looks with Material 3 Expressive. And then the display options for filtered notifications. You can have it set so the notifications that do come through don't turn on your screen and it doesn't actually wake up the phone. You can have it actually hiding the notification dots and icons so that you don't even see the notifications at all. It's not just that they don't buzz the phone. You just won't even see them until the next morning. I also really like this built-in one that you can basically flip your phone face down and then you can have it do all sorts of different things as well, like silencing your notification. Maybe you're out at dinner or something like that. You don't want to be rude, so you put your phone face down and it's not going to interrupt you anymore. So I mentioned scrolling through TikTok earlier, and maybe you have found that you're doing just a little bit too much of that and you want to restrict that. Let's jump into our settings, and we're going to scroll down until we see digital well-being and parental controls. There's an option here for app timers. You can actually see I was spending way too much time on TikTok this morning laying in bed. Maybe I should turn this timer on myself. If you go into app timers, you can then select an application of your choice and you can add a timer to that. So you can say, hey, I only want to spend 30 minutes per day inside this application. And then when you go into that application, it's going to start basically counting you down. If you jump into your recent screen, you can actually see 30 minutes left today. It's going to let you know how much time you have left. And then when you run out of time, that app is just going to be disabled. This is something that I have actually used on several different occasions when maybe I've just been getting social media overload. It's just not been good for me at that time. And I've gone in and set timers to keep me from being on those platforms too much. I think sometimes we all need to pull back a little bit from some of these platforms, and that's going to help you do that. This next one is a handy tip to help you improve your battery life. Maybe find out what's been draining that battery. If we jump into our settings, we do need to turn on developer options, and we're going to do that by scrolling down to About Phone, and then we're going to scroll down to build number, click that a bunch of times until it enables developer options. Go into system and then developer options, which should be down here at the bottom. And then we are looking for running services. And when you look at this, what you're going to be seeing are things that are currently running on your phone. And I can immediately see some things that I'm going to address. Okay, so the Pixel Watch service is running. I am currently wearing the CMF Watch Pro. I'm not using my Pixel Watch. So what could I do? I could just go uninstall the Pixel Watch app. If I don't plan on going back to it anytime soon, I don't need it on my phone. I can just remove it. The Fitbit app is running. Same thing. I'm not using my Pixel Watch. I don't need Fitbit running in the background right now. So I can remove it. So we're just going to jump over here. We're going to long press on Fitbit. We're going to click on the little app info button. We're going to uninstall it, and that is now gone. How much battery was that taking up in the background? Hard to say, but it definitely wasn't zero battery. And the same thing will be true of the Pixel Watch app. I'm not using this right now, so I'm just going to uninstall that. And now that's not going to be running in my running services anymore. And what you should see after closing these things, getting rid of these things, is just a lot fewer things running here. Maybe potentially less RAM being used, which don't get too caught up in the RAM thing. There's this old saying that unused RAM is wasted RAM. Your phone does a good job of managing the RAM stuff, so don't pay super close attention to that. Just look for things that are running that you're not using, and if you're not using them, you can click on them, you can stop them, or you can actually just remove them altogether. But I would encourage you to Google things. If you don't know what this thing is, hey, what is this thing that's running? What does it do? Google it and find out before you just start trying to remove stuff all willy-nilly. Here's a fun one that a lot of people seem to not know they have on their phone. Pixel devices, Android devices, now have something called the Find Hub. And what this does is it allows you to find your phones and some accessories. So once I open this, what you can see is a list of a whole bunch of different devices I have attached to my Google account. And if I were to click on one, it's going to zoom in and show me where that device is or where it was last seen. This is extremely useful if you happen to lose a device. Something else I really like, though, is the People tab. Because we're both very anxious people, my wife and I both share our locations with one another. So at any point, I can just see where she's at. She has a commute. I can see, oh, she's halfway home from her commute or whatever it might be. Whatever paranoia you might be feeling, you can just sort of check in and see where they are. Maybe you have children. That's another good way to use this. And what's cool is this actually pops up inside Google Maps. So if I open up Google Maps, I'm going to see her little icon showing me where she currently is. And she can do the same thing for me if she wants to confirm that, yes, indeed, I am still here at the house. For this next one, we're back in developer mode, and we're going to scroll pretty much all the way down to the bottom. It's really close to that. And we're looking for this right here. Enable desktop experience features. And once you've done that, if you plug your Pixel into an external display, this is a USB-C cable, and this is going into a lap dock from a company called UPerfect. Basically what this thing serves as, it's a battery, it's a trackpad, and it's a keyboard, and it's a touch screen, so it's just kind of an all-in-one type thing. But you can have an external monitor that can do USB-C to C or something like that. That's going to work just fine. Or a USB-C to HDMI cable should work just fine as well. But once you do this and you plug this in, what you're going to get is this desktop interface that, believe it or not, is pretty darn usable. You can see kind of using my mouse to move things around. What we're going to do is we're going to fire up Feedly. This is like my news gathering application. You can move this window around. You can drag it up to the top. Does that work? Yes, you can drag it up to the top to sort of maximize it. I'll just click on one of these links here, and it's going to open up my web browser, which I can also maximize, or I should be able to drag it off to the side. And I think I can get it to snap over here as well. Do that with this app. Now you've got like a little split screen type thing going on. It's a desktop mode. It's not as good as Dex, but it's still pretty darn good, and it's worth enabling if you have the right hardware, the right accessories to make use of it. And so the rest of these are going to be things that are just literally new, just new features. If you jump into your settings and click on notifications, you should have a new option here under Manage that says Notification Summaries. When you turn this on, I'll just read what it says. It's going to summarize long messages and group conversations to get quick recaps. Summaries use AI on your device, which may sometimes make mistakes. Your messages are never sent to Google. So you can go in here and tell it what apps you want to give it access to. And if you get a longer text message, a group message, some sort of longer message where it thinks AI shortening it to give you basically a quick summary will be useful, it's going to try to do that. Now, full disclosure here, I've got this turned on and I don't know what's going on. I have not seen it summarize a single notification. Maybe you're going to have better luck with it. I've seen people online saying that it's working for them. So go ahead and enable it and see if it works for you. Maybe it's going to be beneficial. And if it's not, just turn it back off. Here's another cool thing that Google has recently added. They've given us new tools inside their screenshot editor. So we've got a page pulled up here that we might want to take a screenshot of. I'm going to do the screenshot thing, the power button and volume button down. Let's click on the little pin, the little edit thing. And you can do a lot of these things, or you could do a lot of these things before, like simply just cropping things and things like that. You've got your markup where you can write on it, the little thing, you can add text to it. But there are some new things here. So let's try the little magic wand icon. So what you can do now is you can either use quick select to just tap it, or you can circle things. Like let's just circle, we'll circle Rose back here. And that actually just sort of circled the shape that I circled. It didn't actually grab her at all. So let's try quick select and we'll do that. That definitely did a little bit better. And now you can describe what you want it to be. This is like Magic Editor. It's going to remove her and replace her with something else. Now, a cool option too is this button here, which inverts the selection. I absolutely love that. So let's kind of do this instead. We'll select everything but my dog, and we're going to say a luxurious bed. And what should happen now is it should generate that and give me that image with Pixel Studio. And there you go. There's your image. So from a screenshot to that is pretty darn impressive. But there's a little bit more that we can do as well. Let's click on the erase button. And same thing here. I can just click on Rose and erase her, and it's going to use Pixel Studio to do that as well. And then we can create a sticker from this image as well. So let's click on Make Sticker from Image. And again, we could select Rutherford. Let's kind of get this a little bit more accurate, deselecting that. And then we can say Make Sticker. And there you go. Not quite perfect, a little bit of stuff, but you can see the general idea. So they've added a lot to their editor. And last but not least, inside Google Messages, if you've been sent an image or you've sent someone an image, you can now long press on it, and you should see this remix button down here at the bottom. If you click on that, you see this pop up, select a photo, and transform it into a new and unique creation built with Gemini. So let's click on continue, and this is exactly what you would think. You can just tell it what you want it to be, what you want to alter about this image. So we're going to say give a bob haircut. For some reason, that's a suggestion. So we're going to try to give this frog a bob haircut. This is just a fun way to kind of interact with your friends who might have sent you a message. Not only did it give it a bob haircut, it generated several more of them. That is a pretty bizarre result, but you can definitely have some fun with this. So guys, there you go. Even more tips and tricks to get the most out of your Pixel 10 Pro Fold. If there's any that I've somehow still missed after a 25-minute video and this additional video, please drop that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.